today's video, I'm going to be interviewing one of the biggest snow removal companies here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Not only do they do snow removal, but they also do roofing, they do landscaping. So we're going to be sitting down with the CEO, Stefan Narducci, on how he scaled this business from 0 to 2,000 clients in 2 years. So sit back, relax, and let's get into this interview. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Like I said in the intro, I'm here with Stefano Narducci, the CEO of Northern Snow and Northern Roofing. So we're going to be diving in and chatting with him about the back end of his business, how he got started in this space. And yeah, thanks for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. The first pod ever, so we'll definitely mention that because that's history in itself right there. But I'm doing well. Things are great. Yeah. I'm excited to answer some questions for you and for your viewers.
Yeah, it'll only get better from here. If the audio is bad, we don't really know. Hopefully all the visuals are good. We're just kind of rolling with it. We got a half decent setup, but yeah, like you said, it can only get better from here. But we'll dive right into it, I guess. So if you want to just introduce yourself, a little bit of background, how you got into starting this business, how long you've been doing it for, just a quick, brief little intro, and then I can kind of dive into the questions and whatnot.
Absolutely. So of course, the name's Stefano Narducci. I dived into the business, this would have been 2019. The actual day I started was June 4th. So kind of like how it all started was I was bouncing in between, minimum wage jobs as we usually do when we're younger. Yeah. I probably had like 10 different minimum wage jobs, which was kind of bad, but kind of good. I did learn a lot of different skills, but just when I was on my way to high school, I kind of had enough. So I decided to go online, start my own business, and I just wanted to start with what I had, right? So I couldn't really put my finger on what I wanted to do exactly, but I had the desire to do something for myself, of course. So I just started with what I had. I went in my dad's shed, picked up the weed whacker, the lawnmower, a couple other odds and ends, rake, shovels, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do landscaping. We'll start there, right? Easy to low barrier entry business. Doesn't cost a lot. I went online, made my Wix logo. It was super easy. And then I just posted on Kijiji, Facebook, where else? Instagram. And I just started rolling with that. Put my advertising out and the phone started ringing. So
it started with landscaping.
Yes, yeah. It started with landscaping. And I carried on with doing landscaping for about 2 years. Our first year, of course, we were just, getting our feet wet. I didn't get to mention I am in business with my partnership, Nicholas Sherrod, of course, as you know, and we're partners together. But anyhow, it started off that way. We got our feet wet, of course, with doing the grass cutting. Then we got into, mulching and doing flower beds and all that little landscaping stuff that you could do around houses for customers. That is pretty straightforward, right? And after that, I kind of got into wanting to do something in the winter, right? So fast forward to, I would say it was around September time, October time. My partner Nick ended up going to school. Okay. And I didn't really want to go to school, and I was kind of just stuck in this little bit of a rut. I'm like, well, what am I going to do, right? The season's over. It was semi-successful,
So you started the landscaping right at high school?
Started the landscaping right at a high school. Would have been first year at a high school.
Okay.
Yeah. And we had a very successful year in 2019. It went extremely smooth. And then once the summer was over, right, things started quieting down. Around like September time, we weren't getting much business. Grass cutting starts to not be as frequent. And, I tried to do a little bit of fall cleanup and whatnot, generate a little bit of revenue, but it was nothing fantastic, right? Like I think that entire summer, we revved like 16 to 20 grand in top line. It wasn't anything extravagant, but it was getting the name out there. It was getting familiar with the business and just learning these skills and just seeing if it was for me and for my partner. And we did enjoy it. But anyhow, fall time came around. Like I said, he went to school. I went to go take business. I didn't actually have the credentials to be able to go and take business school with him at the Sioux College. I actually did want to, but I wasn't able to, of course, because I was lacking in some math and English. What do you call those?
Like certain, you needed certain subjects that you didn't have.
Yeah, whatever it may be. There's a title for it. I can't really think of it at this moment. But anyhow, I didn't want to go back to school and take that stuff because I barely got out of high school as it was. I paid my brother to do my booklets. I passed, and I was on my way out. I had enough of school. So I was like, you know what? Hell with that. I'm just going to lay low and figure something out. So it was really dawning on me that I wasn't doing anything for it was a good solid month. So I'm like, you know what? We did landscaping. What ties with landscaping in the winter? Of course, plowing, snow blowing, snow removal, whatever it may be. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. Called my dad and mom. I said, hey, listen, can I use a snow blower? I'm going to do driveways this winter. Called my partner up. He was all in for it too. My partner's father ended up giving us a blower and his mom. And then my parents gave me a blower. So we had 3 blowers. We were in good shape. Yeah. And then Nick's father also gave us a trailer too, so that was a bonus, and we were off to the races. So basically what I did was I went online again. I think it was Wix, I forget, right? We're almost 4 years ago here, but it was Wix, went on there again, and I just made a nice little advertisement, and I literally walked door to door. I just printed it out of my photocopier, like
put in the mailbox or not?
No, I just put it in the mailbox and I walked door to door, but super, just cheap, conservative. There was not much to it. There wasn't a lot of money at the time either. So I had to work with what I had. And I just went on Wix, like I said, made the template, and it was super straightforward. Maybe we could pop it up in the video later, but it's pretty cool to see how far we've came in the last few years. And me and my cousin, my partner Nick, we just went door to door and just dropped them in the mailboxes.
That's crazy.
And it did generate some business. So we ended up with 30 customers that season.
That's crazy.
And all we did was go door to door with our trailer full of snowblowers, and we did all of our customers' driveways. And I think about 75% of those customers are still with us today, which is a great feeling, of course. You know what I mean?
Obviously.
Yeah.
So it all basically started 2019 winter season, because 2019 you did the landscaping and you gave them to the winter, we need to figure something out.
Yeah, so you know what? I did build a passion for the landscaping business over that summer, and I wanted to pursue it further and get into more of a niche within that business, right? Because it's a wide spectrum.
Yeah.
Like landscaping, it could be so many different things. So, something resonated with me in the landscaping business, and that was laying bricks and doing interlocking brick and concrete and stuff like that. Hardscaping, if you will, that's the name for it. So I built that interest over the summer of 2019, and I did execute that on year 2020, my next year going in. But of course, going back to the snow business, that time and moment when we were going door to door with the snow blowers and we only had our 30 customers, etc., with the trailer driving around, I didn't really know where it was going, right? I just had this really deep inspiration, and I was just doing business, I was having fun. We were working hard, we were bringing in money, and it just felt good to have a name, have a logo, and have a business, right? So I didn't really know where it was going up until I ended up struggling really hard. And this was about midway through the season. My partner and my cousin helped me out. He used to live with me. We were going door to door with the blowers, and it was beating the shit out of us. We were 12 to 14 hour shifts with a 400 or 500 pound blower doing driveways. My cousin was shoveling.
Manually doing the driveways.
I was on the blower. My partner was on the blower, and
it just wasn't scalable because
it wasn't scalable, and it was also way too difficult. Anyone try doing that, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's the craziest workout you ever have in your life, right? Putting that big blower up and down the trailer all day. So obviously, because it was so difficult, I started doing some research to YouTube and online, seeing if there's easier ways of removing snow, right? See how we could make this more efficient and not so hard on us. And we came across, I'm going to mention his name, Nick Bonner, on YouTube. And he's somebody in this business model that we're replicating today. And pretty much just consumed all his content. I reached out to him, met him a few times, and I started reaching out to a wide spectrum of people in the business. got into it, and later on that year, the money we generated from our snowblowing season, what we ended up doing was we went and put a down payment on our first tractor, and that's where it started.
Yeah.
We didn't get the tractor till February, and when we did get it in February, we were able to pull off a couple shifts with it, but as soon as we had it, we knew that like this was the way of doing it. So we had the inverted blower, super simple setup, nothing even close to what we have today. Like today we got pimped out, modified snow tractors, and at that time it was just, we kind of had like, with the little bit of knowledge we had, we kind of slapped something together, and it was brand new. It was a beautiful machine. However, it doesn't do the job quite as good as it did today, right? With the equipment we have now. But anyhow, we finished off the season with our 30 customers and our first snow tractor, and we fell in love, right? So later on that summer, I got into landscaping, and I wanted to get more into the brickwork. So I actually did do that. We ended up doing some pretty nice projects, and we were quite successful in it. So that was awesome. And over the summer, from doing our big, interlocking brick and hardscape projects, acquired a little bit more money to be able to put some down payment on tractors, right? Because that's always in the back of my mind was winter. With such a beautiful business model that was scalable, that it just felt like, like you just hit a bullseye. Like as soon as I hop in that snow tractor back in 2019, from going from the walk behind snowblower to a machine, seeing how much faster and efficient it was, like, you know what I mean? I was like, this is the way. Also with the research and talking to people in the business and whatnot, people were doing 2,000 driveways, 4,000 driveways, 6,000, 10,000, 25,000 driveways this same way, but multiplied, right? So I knew that was the way. But
you're set. Yeah.
Anyhow, so with it being in the back of my mind, I acquired 2 more machines. My partner and I did, and those were Kubota L6060s. And this time we did it right. Okay, we bought 2 Kubota L6060s, full snow package on them, front mount weights, extended fender flares, front fender flares, accumulator in the rear, inverted snow blower. Like, we went all out on these tractors, making sure like they were the right one for us. So we went into year 2020. I call it year 2020/2021 because obviously the winter goes into the new year. And we went from 30 driveways with 1 tractor to 3 tractors with 175 driveways. So a nice little scale there. We did significantly well that winter. That winter was like
best one.
I don't know, like, sometimes you think like things are like meant to be, right? And that one was truly meant to be. And the reason why I say that is because it was so easy for us. Like, it was so easy. It was like a very simple winter. We didn't have too many issues, not too many breakdowns with our tractors. We had very minimal employees, right? We only had 2, one guy shoveling, one guy in the tractor, and then my partner and I, right? For a total team of 4. And I don't know, there was something about that year, and it freaks me out to this day because I just truly feel like it was so meant to be for us to push the ball forward to be where we are today. It worked out so well. It was such a smooth winter. There was like maybe 20 to 25 snowfalls, and like the problems were like next to none. Like, don't get me wrong, we had our issues.
There's always going to be problems.
We had our fair share of issues, and we struggled at some point, but it just felt so right. Like, we had the software, we had the tablets and the machines, we had the snow tractors, we had the staff, and we were, the scale, right? Going from 30 drivers to 175. We had the pickets, we had the marketing. We're like, wow, this really works, and it worked well. And we just fell in love after that.
So before we get into the big year, which is this year, obviously,
I'm creeping up on it right now.
Before we get into the big year, take me back a bit to, like, basically, was this always like a mindset you had, like entrepreneurship? Or, because I know for me personally, like, I never ever did I even look at doing business or anything along those lines. Didn't even know what business was. So was it always something that you kind of knew about, like you always wanted to do your own things, like when you were younger? Or
Absolutely. If there's any of my high school teachers that may come across this video, they know that I did not like school and I wanted to do something for myself. So that was always in me, right? Since probably, I would say like grade 10, grade 9 was when it really started becoming in the back of my head, because my parents, right, they're old school Italians, and they're just about, find a good job and stick with that job and work there for your life, get the pension, and, check out, right?
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're dead. But anyways, they were always pushing the minimum wage job on me, right? Go get a job, go get a job, go get a job. So from the age of 13, that's when I started working.
Yeah.
I worked as a server at Marconi. I worked there for like 6 months, couldn't hold a job. And then I had another job when I was 14, working at another restaurant, couldn't hold it. Then I ended up, going to an electronics store, couldn't hold it. Then I ended up going to a bakery, right? I was going through all these minimum wage jobs, and then eventually, like, it dawned on me that, okay, I can't work for somebody else. Like, there was just something about it I couldn't do. I could listen to people. I'm open-minded, I'm not ignorant towards what anyone has to say, but I just didn't like, being told what to do and getting treated like a dog like that. I wanted something of my own, I wanted to make my own money. So, that was always in the back of my head for a very long time. I just didn't know how to execute on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I aspired to be something of my own. But it just took some time to get there, and it was after I actually read the book by Gary Vee called Crushing It. It's the Yellow Book. The Yellow Book by Gary Vee.
Okay.
It's called Crushing It. I read that book, I think I was still in high school or just leaving high school. I can't quite remember. I dropped out in grade 11 at the end of grade 11, and then my grade 12 year was at like a booklet school.
Oh, really?
So like I didn't go often. I just worked full time and like was saving all my money.
Yeah.
And then I just paid my brother to do the booklets on the
Really?
side. Yeah. So
So you're like fully no school. That's like,
oh man,
that's like
I got
back
no
in the day. Like
I got no
my
school
dad and
experience.
like his dad don't like, they're like drop out of high school. We're like, okay, we'll get to high school, then not go to like university, college. You're like, no, you get right out of high school.
I had a lot of issues in high school, and I had a bad reputation and stuff, of course, too. And I just kind of, I don't know, just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't like it, and eventually I exploded and just walked out.
Yeah.
And I had to finish school at a booklet school, of course, and that did not feel good at all. So they didn't really care if you didn't come or not. They just wanted you to get your booklets done. So what I ended up doing was just working full time, because I'm like, I'm just gonna go make money.
Yeah.
So I went and worked full time. I remember I was working at Thrifty Car Rental. Like, I've had all the jobs, man. I've had all the jobs. Like, we could go on and on here. I've worked at so many places, and
Thrifty Car.
yeah, that's where I was working. So at that time and moment, I was washing cars and just stacking money, and I was paying my brother $10 a booklet. He's very intelligent. He's really, really good in school, and it worked out really, really well for me. So that was good. Ended up graduating high school. Didn't go to any graduation or anything. Just got that stupid ass certificate, and then where were we getting to there? I forget the question.
Your mindset before starting the business, like, were you always on?
Yes. Okay, so getting to there. That's when, just around the time that everybody was starting college for the first year, all my friends, my partner Nick, a few people, and like I said, I needed all these credentials to be able to go, and I felt like shit about it. This was the year before 2019 of starting, by the way. So I was just like, man, like, screw this. And over, I think, that fall and winter, all I did was work full time. I had 2 jobs. I worked at Best Buy during the day, and at night I had to work at a restaurant. And then this brought me all the way around to spring of 2019. Yeah. Okay, because that was 2018 when I was in that process. In the back of my head, I just want to do something of my own. I just want to do something of my own. Like, I want something that's mine. I want something that's mine. I was reading all these books, and then it was like just after winter, springtime, I was working construction. I was going to be a framer. I wanted to be a carpenter because I didn't know what else to do. Everybody was in school. I was lost, and working 2 minimum wage jobs kind of sucked. And I was like, okay, let me go be a Red Seal carpenter. Yeah. I had a buddy who owned a business building houses. He took me on. I ended up going to work for him. I lasted 4 days. And at that time, in that little moment there, it was about a month, I was reading the book Crushing It, getting back to my story here. And something just like popped like a light bulb when I was reading that book. Something gave me the motivation, and I can't quite remember what it was. He does talk a lot about using social media presence to be able to build a business. And that's what I think really did it for me. And you know what? I just said, screw it, like, enough's enough. I just went for it, and that's when I just took a peek in the shed and see what I could do with what I had. And just popped up the logo, and and then there it went. But yeah, I would say the inspiration of wanting to, own my own business and be an entrepreneur probably started around the age of, I'd say, about 14, 15. I wanted to start working for myself. I wanted something to do. But that was kind of the trilogy, getting up to the point where I wanted to. Yeah, high school was tough for me, man. That's what.
How'd you meet Nick, your business partner? Was he just like a friend
high
in
school?
high school?
Yeah, high school. I met him in high school. I knew of him beforehand. We met at a few parties and stuff, and he had some relation with some of my old buddies and whatnot, so I did catch him around. And when I did run into him, we connected so hard, I can't even really explain it. It was just a really mutual connection, and we were really on the same page, and he seen a lot of good in me. I was hanging around some rough people at the time, and it was really bringing me down and stuff. I wasn't in the best shape, smoking cigarettes, up to no good. And when I met him, he came from a better crowd, and he really understood me, right? He really liked me. He's seen a lot of good qualities in me, and he's like, this is a good kid. This isn't a bad kid, right? Because I had that stereotype hanging out with older guys and being bad and up to no good. And I don't know. It's just there was a lot of comfort there, and there was a lot of bond. So I was like, man, this guy's awesome. And we clicked really well, and I never looked back. I dropped all my old buddies, and Nick and I became really good friends. We hung out like crazy, started hitting the gym together. I dropped 100 pounds, stopped smoking cigarettes, pretty much changed my whole life around when I did meet him. Because the crowd I was with before, like I said, was just brutal.
Typical,
So that was really good. And then, we maintained a great relationship. He was working full time throughout the end of high school and his first year of college too, with his father. He was working on the side there in the plant. And we always maintained our relationship. We were like brothers, man. We till this day, we're still together almost every day, right? Pretty close too. And when I came up with the idea, gave him a call. It's better to do it with a partner. It always is, right? Two's better than one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You could dominate a lot harder with two people. So called him up, seeing what he thought. He loved it, and he's like, let's do it together. And I was like, okay, let's do it. He had some assets he could provide, and I did too. And combining us both together obviously makes for a better end result, right? A bigger, better business.
So how old are you? Are you
22?
Years? Yeah, so you're
22.
Okay, you turned 23 this year, or you turned 22?
Turned 23 September 18th.
Okay, so you're 2 years older than me. And how old's Nick? Is he same age as you, or is he?
Nick just turned 23 in January.
Okay, so he's a year older.
We're both 2000 babies.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a little bit later.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense. So you and Nick are both the same age, and then you're 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. That's awesome. So, I guess we'll dive into the big year now, because you went from 175 in the 2021 to 2022 season, and then now you're at a whopping 2,000 customers in the video, you said.
Yes. Yeah, so there was some drastic jumps there.
So I guess take us through the whole process of, first of all, how you go from 30 to 175, and then maybe you're thinking 300, 400. But you guys just absolutely skyrocketed right to 2,000. So what's the process like as far as the marketing that goes into that, or was it just the name got out there and then all of a sudden exploded throughout the sewer? I guess walk me through the process to get into 2,000 customers, and then what happens in the back end to can't have 3 tractors obviously to do 2,000. So then you guys acquired obviously a bunch of new tractors, a bunch of new employees. So just take us through that year and what that was like.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. So of course, the scale from 30 driveways to 175. Well, that was a decent jump in its own, right? That's 4, 5, 6x, whatever that may be. That was more or less we worked our asses off to be able to get the machines. And when we acquired the machines, we did a very minimal amount of marketing, but there was a couple things tied in with that was able to give us the scale. And of course, it was having the software we use. Number 2 would be the marketing we were doing with the pickets at the end of the driveways, right? We sent out some mailers. We were doing some digital ads on Facebook, and pretty much just getting the name out there. Anybody who showed any sort of interest at all, I'd be right on the phone trying to, get them on. That was pretty well the process. It was minimal, right? It expanded to what it is now, but it was minimal from the year going from 30 to 175. Like, it was everything I'm doing today, just at a very low scale.
Yeah.
So Facebook ads, mailers, follow-up calls, cold calls, hard sale, whatever you could get your hands on in that aspect. Acquiring the machines, our driveway pickets, right? Those are legendary. That's a great marketing piece of ours.
Everyone drives by and sees pickets everywhere.
The neighbor doesn't want to feel left out, right? They see the pickets and they're like, oh, you got a snowblowing service? Like, okay, I'll call.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they might not even end up getting it, but they'll call and inquire. We hold them in our database, and then we'll just keep hammering them until they give us a yes or no, right?
Yeah.
So it was everything we're doing today, really, just at a much lower scale. And then going from the season 2020-2021, right, going into our next season, we worked our asses off all summer long, of course. We got way deeper into hardscaping. This would have been our third year landscaping, of course. Yeah. And we made some good money, and we ended up buying 4 more machines for a total of 7 going into our 2021-2022 season.
Yeah.
And that process was similar again, right? We had the software, which really helps. We marketed our ass off as much as we could afford. Yeah. And, our driveway pickets were everywhere. We were doing giveaways, mailers through the roof, everything we could to get our name out there that we could afford, right?
Yeah.
And it worked again. We went from 175 to 500 that season. Yeah. And that was a pretty big jump for us. Like, that year was very difficult in its own. There was like 2.
Oh yeah, because that was, so you've been doing this for now, after this would be 4 seasons, right?
This would be our 4th season. I technically, like, this season that just finished now, well, we might get a snowfall today, so it's not done yet, but this season that's finishing right now, I only say it's our 3rd season. I don't count the first season, like I should, with the manual snowblowers and the 1 tractor at the end of the season, because I wasn't like fully incorporated.
You didn't have, no. That was just starting.
I was just getting my feet wet, man.
Pushing a snowblower yourself. So technically 3 seasons. So it was
like, this is like
175 to 500, then 500 to 2,000, which would be this season.
Yes, exactly. So I count like the actual solid years that we've been in business. You know what I mean? Exactly. Before was just testing and trying and figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, so back to what I was saying. We got to 500, and that season was difficult. Yeah. It was insanely difficult. Yeah. I thought this year was pretty tough too, but looking back, like, that year was the most difficult. The scale was quite drastic, right? Like, we basically 4x'd from 175 to 400. However, I don't know, there was something about that year. That was the year that would have make or break us, and we made it through it very well, and we succeeded. But we got like 42 snowfalls that year.
Really?
Over 5 centimeters.
So that's double compared to the last one. You said the last one was like
double.
25.
It's double this winter, basically. Yeah, this winter we've only been out for a total of 27 passes. Yeah. We went for a couple unnecessaries, but not fully double, but close to double. We went out 42 times, and it was just crazy, man. Like, we didn't have much experience. We acquired a lot more staff from the previous year. We were doubling staff, and it was difficult. We were working at a very, very small space. We were, working off of a beer pong table in Nick's basement, literally. Like, not a beer pong table, but those tables you get from Walmart? Table. Yeah, the white table. I call it the beer pong table. And we had a nice little setup in his basement. Gotta thank his mom for that. She let us work out of the basement, and then, just ran the business off of an Apple iPhone, and, having 500 customers for a winter business and running it, out of a house with an iPhone, and, me and my partner working, in his basement. It wasn't structured entirely too well. Yeah. But we managed and we executed very well. Like, we were super successful on that year, but the beginning was tough for us. Yeah, it was very difficult. But we made it through that winter. It was a great success. We ended off very well. Customers were extremely happy. We learned a lot. And in the midst of that winter, we actually we were working at this garage in the West End. Yeah. It was at Nick's dad's apartment, and he gave us the garage, and we fixed it up, and we made it happen out of there.
Office, kind of.
We didn't make an office out of there. No, we were still working out of his basement at his parents' house, and we were running the shop out of his dad's garage at this apartment unit. And, it worked well, but we had like 7 machines parked on the side of second line where everyone could see, and it was wide open. It looked super unprofessional. It was trashy. And then we got a city notice. But the bonus was we got a city notice just prior to us packing up and leaving. And that's when I got a call from Steve Ficacello. He's the owner of Ficmar. And we were doing some properties for him in that season. And he said, hey, listen, like, you guys look crammed on the side of second line. Like, you got to get the hell out of there. He's like, I got a shop available for lease. Like, are you interested? And I'm like, yeah, where's it at? He's like, Great Northern Road. And like, my dream was always to have a shop on Great Northern Road. Like, I always wanted to have a shop on Great Northern Road. I used to think about that in my first and second year. And, I didn't think that was going to happen for a while. Yeah. And it did happen that year in February. No, it was mid-February, end of March. We moved in just at the end of our season. And just as we were packing up and leaving, we got this huge city notice saying we had to vacate the property like right away, or else we were getting fined and all this BS from the city. But it's crazy how things work out. That was something that I used to really dream of, was having a shop up on Great Northern. And when that call happened, like, my partner and I jumped all over it. We didn't even think twice. We didn't even care how much it costed. We're like, just get us out of here. Yeah. We could barely make our business run out of here. Like, we got no offices. We got this small ass shop, and we're on the side of second line, sharing the parking with tenants at a building. And we have big farm equipment, and it just like made no sense. But we made it work, and we made it work well. And we packed up and left, and then we got that notice. It was kind of ironic.
I swear stuff like that happens it's timed so perfectly. Like, we get a notice, and then someone reach out and be like, yo, we got a nice lease for place on Great Northern. It's like as if that happens right when you get the notice from the city.
It worked out so well, man. I was beyond thrilled when we got our
the office space at the end of the 2021-2022 season in February.
Yes, sir.
So then going into the big dog season, you had the office space now, 7 machines, and then essentially you were doing the same marketing, same stuff. It was just scaled like drastically, because I'm sure once 500 people, then everyone's talking about it, so it's probably just
that year was big for us. We were getting our name out there hard. We were in almost every neighborhood of the city. Like, not as much volume as we have now, of course, but we were around. Like, you would see our pickets, right? Like, in almost every subdivision. And that definitely trickled into next year for us, building that name. And we served our customers so well. Like I said, the beginning of that season, the 2021-2022 season, like, we almost crashed and burned a couple times, but we pulled out hard and we worked our bag off. And the winter's long, right? So we had a lot of time to improvise and fix some things and make for a good ending. And we made for a great ending, and our customers were astonished with us. They had nothing but good things to say at the end of the season. So we were like, oh, thank God we did it, man. We made it. It was such a great feeling. What a crazy winter. It was cold too that winter. Like,
42 snowfalls, that's a lot.
Yeah, man. Like, it's a lot. And working in the tractor is not an easy game, and chasing snow is not easy. Yeah. It is not easy. It's a difficult business, and you're running 24 hours around the clock. Like, you can't justify when you're working. You can't prep, really. The snow comes and you take it and you go. But anyhow, that season was super successful, and it brought us over into our next season, which is this one, of course, that we're just finishing up, and that'd be our 2022-2023 season. And man, I must say that this one was hectic. One was hectic, okay? We were very prepared. I could say we were very organized, but you only know what you don't know, right? Like,
exactly. So different problems occur when you go from 500 to 2,000, and it's just learning again.
I was so certain too, because I was like,
everything's dialed in.
That last season was so difficult, and like, I wrote everything down. Yeah. Like, even when I was in the mid tractor shift, like, I was in the machine, and like, there was something that crossed my mind that was an issue that I know was going to happen next year. I wrote it down right away. I had this massive list by the end of the season, and I incorporated every single thing we did wrong last year and put it into this year to be able to prepare myself so that we wouldn't, fail in any sort of way again. I didn't want those issues to happen again, because they sucked at that time and moment. And of course, we scaled from 7 tractors to 22.
Yeah.
From 500 driveways to 2,000.
Crazy.
So
the 7 to 22 tractors is crazy. Like,
that's
a lot of tractors.
That's a big scale, man. That's a big scale. Push some crazy limits for that. Yeah. The original goal was 15 machines and 1,500 driveways.
Basically,
and
everything.
As the season got closer and closer, I was just looking at the numbers and just kind of seeing things, and I was like, you know what? We could push it to 2,000. Yeah. Let's try and aim for 2,000, and let's get as many machines as we could get our hands on to start the season, which we started the season with 16.
Yeah.
And then let's see from there how we do, right? So we started with 16 machines, 1,650 contracts for our first snow event, and obviously we were slow. That's a lot of people operating that have never had experience in a snow tractor.
Yeah, for sure.
You could get somebody who's ran a loader or ran a stick car or a standard totally vehicle, but running a snow tractor is something in its own. Even if you got a farmer, we had a farmer. Really? We got a guy all the way from Thessalon who drove in to come work for us, and he was a farmer. And sorry if he's watching this or if he sees this, but he was horrible. Yeah. And this guy's a farmer. Yeah. He lives in a tractor. Yeah. He just didn't know what he was doing, so. It's different. Running a snow tractor is different than running anything else. It's its own thing. So having that many operators, of course, learning from scratch, because we only had 3 skilled operators that came back from the prior year.
Yeah, exactly.
It was difficult. Our first snow event was 12 hours long to only do 1 pass. And right away, as soon as that snow event was done, I got on the phone. I started ordering more machines. Yeah. I'm like, we need more machines. We got to be quicker. This isn't feasible, and our service is going to depreciate. Taking this long for 1 pass. And got on the phone, ordered more tractors. As more tractors came in, we acquired more customers. I just kept taking them. I didn't care. I was like, no, we're going to keep taking them. Tractors are coming. And we're not going to stop until we get to 2,000. I don't care. That's just what we're doing. I had the goal. I was set. The machines were coming, so I had confidence in that. And as the time progressed, more machines came in one by one, and more customers came in one by one, of course, too. And my operators were getting really good. As the snow events moved forward, they were gaining a lot of experience, and they were starting to get really fast. Yeah. So when all the machines were acquired, it fell around about 1,950, and then we kind of worked our way to 2,000. Yeah. And we've been ending the last few snow events. We're doing 1 pass in 4 hours. Yeah. 1 pass in 4 hours. Going from 12 hours our first pass, right? And the machines to contract discrepancy is pretty well the same, right? 22 machines, 2,000 driveways, roughly 100 per machine, right? 100 contracts per machine, 100 houses to be serviced per machine.
Is that kind of what you figured out to be the number? A good operator can do about basically 100.
We cracked the code that was it right there, because as we scale, I'd like to have more backup machines. But how I look at it now is, you're gonna have 100 machines. Yeah. You're gonna have not 100 machines. Sorry, you're gonna have 100 contracts, and you're gonna have 1 machine per 100 contracts. And then for every 1,000 contracts, you're gonna have 1 backup machine. Okay, so that's how it was, right? We had 2,000 customers, 2,000 contracts, 2,000 driveways to do.
And 2 backup machines.
And 2 backup machines. So 11 per 1,000. Yeah. And that worked really well for us. We were able to execute very well. We were able to give our customers, crazy service, because we were coming to do 2 passes in 8 hours. Yeah. We'd come do their driveway twice in 8 hours. And some snow events we were doing it 3 in 24 hours. Yeah. What's snow companies?
We had one big snowfall this year, right? There was that
Christmas. Yeah. I call it the Christmas extravaganza. It was crazy, dude.
There's a lot of snow. That was crazy.
I have that all YouTube too. That's all on my YouTube channel. That was roughly around I think that was snow event 6 to 12. Yeah. It was somewhere in that caliber. I don't know. It snowed for 7 days straight. Yeah. I remember sleeping a solid 1 to 2 hours every night for a week straight. I was supposed to go down south to see my family, because I live here by myself here in Sault Ste. Marie. All my family moved down south. I got my brother in London, got my mom and dad in Whitby, and then I got my sister in Quebec.
Oh, really? So you're they all left?
They're all gone. I'm the only one here, and the whole family got together in Toronto, because a lot of my family's from down south, even my aunts and uncles and whatnot. And I missed it, and it did kind of suck, but you know,
Christmas extravaganza.
yeah, man, duty calls. It was nuts. You know, my family was a bit sad I couldn't make it, but they understood, right?
Yeah.
I'm grinding. These are the beginning years. I'm not able
Yeah.
to make it right now. I'll be able to make it in the future
Exactly.
if everything works out, right? And that was that. Like, you know, what are you gonna do? But
Yeah, it's crazy.
it was crazy.
So yeah, that's
you
the story. So technically 3 seasons, because the first one with the, you know, we won't really count that, but yeah, no, that's a crazy story as far as the beginning. So just to ask some questions regarding that, I guess, what was the like craziest? So I want to bring up this story because I want to know what happened after this happened, or like what the process was. So there was a picture, a guy got hit in the tractor on second line. Was that your tractor?
Okay.
What was the process like for that when you got a call saying, yo, like, I just crashed in the middle of the second line? Like, are you thinking, no, man, like, the tractor, you're like, are you good? Like,
Wait, was this on one of my videos? I'm trying to think. 'Cause
yeah,
we had
it
a
was on
couple.
your story or something. No, I don't even know where it was. I just remember seeing, or maybe I actually saw it, but I just
Maybe you've
remember
seen it.
seeing.
Was it like during the day? It was sunny out,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was like
It was
right
on
in the
turn.
intersection
Yeah.
of Great Northern Road
Yeah, yeah.
and Second Line.
Yeah.
Like right where Jiffy is.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Shell, and then Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Right, like
Yeah,
right
right
there. Okay, so that was a guy just training.
Yeah.
So he was a newbie.
Yeah.
It was his first time going out, and he was just training in the machine. Honestly, it was a dual at fault accident.
Yeah.
So it was 50% the operator and
Yeah.
50% the driver,
Yeah.
oncoming driver, and she bolted a yellow, and he was in the advance lane
Yeah.
turning. So it turned yellow. She pinned it, and he pinned it to go,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
collided at the same time. I mean, the damage was minimal. Our machine was fine.
Yeah.
All we had to do was bend the weight case back.
Oh, okay.
So there's the weight case on the front.
Yeah.
It just collided in the side of the vehicle,
Yeah.
and we just ended up bending the weight case back, and the tractor was like brand new. Like,
But what's the
nothing
call
broke.
like for that? Because that guy's in training. Like, does he call? Like, who's he call? Did he call you? Did he call Nick? Was he like, yo, like, I just got
Okay,
back.
so it was actually my dispatch manager, Mitchell. He gives me a call. He's like, Steph. I was like, yeah, what's going on? He's like, we got a problem. I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I put out problems all day. I love problems.
Yeah.
And I could hear it in his voice. It was bad. He's like, one of the new operators just got hit on second line. Like, you need to go there right now. I'm in the office, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. So I peel there. I go, I see the incident. You know, it was decently bad.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been way worse.
Yeah.
You know, you could have an operator dead, and you could have had somebody else very injured or whatever, right? But it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I was pretty upset about seeing the damage to the other person's vehicle because it was nasty,
Well,
right?
Yeah, 'cause you're
Like,
a tractor.
the vehicles are made like a pop can,
Yeah.
and those tractors are like pure steel.
Yeah.
And you know, my tractor was fine. Everything was fixable. It was still running. Everything was cool. But the other vehicle was pretty damaged. So that I kind of felt shitty about. You know, talked to the cops. I'm in the middle, second line of Great Northern. The whole city's looking at me. But what are you gonna do,
Yeah,
man?
no,
That's part of the business.
Yeah,
No shame, man. I didn't care at all. I just wanted everybody to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was just happy nobody was injured, and everything got dealt with, and it was cool. And we fixed the machine. They got their car fixed. The lady was like semi-injured because she was a little bit older, but she wasn't. I think she was just more
probably
traumatized.
just whiplash.
Yeah, she was
like,
traumatized from the incident. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell, like, she maybe never got in an accident or something. But
Sure.
yeah, like,
No,
it
yeah.
wasn't anything too bad. We settled it.
This is funny because I just want to know, like, what's that process like getting the call? Like, I don't know if it's
I've got some crazy calls. So
yeah, like, what's the craziest call then? Because you said like, oh, that's just like another problem. Like, what's like the craziest thing that's happened, or like, doesn't even have to be like an incident or just something where it's like, oh, like, you know, what are we gonna do? Like, this is nuts. Like, what's the craziest experience or something that's happened so far in the 3 years?
That's a tough one.
Like, if you can think of something, like, what's something that sticks out in your mind that's just like, man, like, we're like, this is just
That one was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, but it wasn't like, I got something that's pretty crazy that happened to me, but it wasn't a phone call.
Has there been anything where it's like someone like hit a car in the driveway or like almost like anything like that, or?
Oh, we've tapped cars in
Yeah.
driveways. Oh yeah, man, we like, nothing to be proud of. It's just part of the business.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why I
it's
sit here and
such a
laugh
weird-
about it.
yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and be grumpy
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it, but we damage cars.
Yeah, yeah.
We fix them right away.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
treat the customers like gold when we do damage their car. You know, we'll get them rentals. We'll incentivize them. Like,
Yeah.
we're
It's
really
part of-
considerate.
You have to just assume that's going to happen with new
Oh, yeah.
operators. Like you just got to be
Yeah.
like, okay.
When we're running our numbers, we put a buffer in for damages because we
Yeah.
know they're going to happen. It's
Yeah.
not possible to not have them happen. Like
Otherwise,
you got
everyone
22
would do it.
machines
Yeah.
doing 2,000 driveways, driving around town, going from house to house. Like
Something's going to happen.
yeah,
Yeah, like-
and something's for sure going to happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. Like I can handle a lot. I got a lot of
Yeah.
patience. So when really, really crazy big problems happen, I guess to some people, to me, they're just like, whatever. I just
Problem, yeah,
figure,
you just gotta
yeah,
figure
I
it
just
out.
figure it out and I get it done. So
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but like there's probably been some nasty issues that have happened along the way throughout my business journey, but some of them
Yeah.
don't stick too well because they just weren't that crazy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't know. The craziest thing that happened to me personally was I almost rolled the tractor down a ravine. And this was one of my big tractors. This was my
Really?
6130M. So like this tractor is huge. It's like
Yeah.
10 feet in the air, like massive machine. You're sitting way up high. And I was doing a big driveway on 4th line. And when I was servicing this driveway, it's kind of like bridged up on a hill. So the driveway's like, it's like winds like this and this. It's crazy up
so
and
it's
down.
crazy driveway.
And it like builds up to it, right? There's a big ravine built up to it. And I was just going along, doing the driveway, doing my thing. This was on my my second year, so the year 2021, 2022. And I got sucked in to like, you know how there's like
So you started like,
yeah, you know how there's like the little bit of snow that builds up on the edge of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The roads or any sort of
Yeah.
driveway you go on,
Yeah.
right? I got kind of like the tire kind of got sucked in. It pulled me in and it turned the whole tractor sideways. And like this machine weighs to like 12,000
yeah.
pounds, right? And I'm just hanging on by a thread and there's a tree holding me up.
really?
Right on the side there. And I'm looking down this ravine. I'm like, if I roll this thing, I'm going to be fucked. No seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I don't really wear a seatbelt in there
No,
because like
you're
you're always
turning
maneuvering.
around, yeah.
So I had no seatbelt on and I was just like, heart was like thumping because I'm looking down. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to roll down this ravine. Maybe we could pull up some pictures of that too. I have pictures of
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to roll down this ravine. And I tried to crawl out and it tilted the machine even more. And I kind of didn't start having a panic attack, but I'm like, okay, this is a bad situation.
Yeah.
And so I ended up calling my buddy Johnny Viotto. You know
Yeah,
Johnny?
Johnny.
Yeah. I ended up calling Johnny Viotto, and he ends up calling his pops, and they come with the loader.
To pull.
No, they didn't actually come with the loader. He came with a truck first. And I'm like, man, your truck's not pulling out
Yeah.
this. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? So that didn't really work out too well. And then he came with a loader. And then he tried pulling me out with the loader. And then the loader got stuck in the
Oh
ravine
my
kind of
God.
too.
Yeah.
And it was like a huge disaster. And then they had to go all the way back to the shop and they grabbed a backhoe. So we had like three machines there
machines.
battling to get out. And luckily, Ollie, because he's pretty skilled and whatnot, being in the trade for a long time, he was able to pull his loader out and then pull me out with the backhoe. And it all worked
How long was
out.
that process?
It was about 2.5 hours. The damage was like minimal. All we ended up damaging was like a few hydraulic hoses on the machine. But it could have been like a write-off.
Yeah.
And I could have been definitely really injured because there's a lot of room in that cabin. It's all glass.
Yeah.
It's like all glass, and like I had no belt on, so I would have been going for a ride, and that machine would have been fucking toast.
Yeah.
So, luckily, God was on my side, and everything
So you're
worked
getting
out.
held up by a tree, the whole thing's just like leaning there?
Yeah, it was leaning. It
That's
doesn't
definitely
look.
a crazy story.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that intense in the pictures. It was pretty decent, but it was just kind of the tumble down that was like sketchy. Like it was.
Well, yeah,
I would have
to
rolled
any
it
machine
maybe
just,
once or
like,
twice.
leaning on the edges, you're just waiting for it to.
Yeah. So that was my crazy experience. But the craziest phone call, I don't know why. Nothing's really resonated with me in terms of a crazy phone call. I've had so many that I don't even know anymore. I take them for what they are, and I address and fix the issue, and that's it.
For sure. So I guess aside from the business, some just kind of off the wall questions. If you could go back to give your 17-year-old self advice right now, I guess what would you say, or what would you do differently, or if you would do anything differently, what would the sort of advice be?
17-year-old self,
Yeah.
advice I would give.
That would be like just about to start the landscaping business, but not quite yet there yet.
What if I said I don't know if I'd have much advice.
anything
I
there.
feel like I really fulfilled like Like I did things even beyond my imagination, and like, when even like double, triple past goals I put down for myself. So, I've surprised myself in some
If
ways.
anything, it would just be like, keep going. Like
I would have just,
yeah.
if I could go 17-year-old self, like just prior to actually getting, I would have started sooner. If like I could have gave advice, like, yo, just go for it sooner.
Just get out, yeah.
I would have started sooner. That's the only thing I could really change. Like everything I've done has been exceptional to me.
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I want to say something because I feel like there could be something there, but
Well, no, it's honestly good. Yeah, it would just be like
I feel fulfilled.
It would just be
honestly,
start sooner, and just.
I could say this though. I would pay it. No, I'd definitely pay a large sum of money to go back in time and relive my life again to this point. And I'm only 22. Yeah. I would. That's how good I feel about the process to where I am right now. Like if I could go back in time and relive and refeel everything I felt from the age of about 13 or 14 till now, I would spend a lot of money.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I would spend a lot of money. I want it to be the exact same.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't change. I wouldn't even change one thing. Yeah. I wouldn't. And I have regrets, but I wouldn't change one thing. I just want to relive that whole process and all those moments and everything. Like, man,
crazy.
Yeah, it was great. Business and personal life beforehand in high school, and all the jobs I had and stuff, and ups and downs, and I would love to do that.
Yeah,
that's a dream.
Yeah, I guess we'll do some off the wall questions here, just not even business related. But if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be, and then why?
Oh, that's another tough one.
Yeah,
I've never done much traveling.
Yeah. Oh, really?
No, I haven't traveled much. I've never been to Europe.
Yeah.
The farthest I've ever went, I went to Cancun, Mexico.
Okay.
I've been to Dominican Republic. Those don't really count though. Like, you're not going to go there to live. You could, but I've been to Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
That was pretty
cool.
That was pretty cool. Miami's sweet. Like I could, you could definitely live there for a couple years in your 20s and live it up a bit. I don't know. I don't have anywhere set in my mind where I'd.
What about travel destinations? Is there like somewhere you'd want to go? Like
I want to travel Europe. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Croatia. I want to go to UK. Like I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Switzerland. Like I want to see all of Europe. I want to see what's going on over there. I'd love. And it's kind of weird. I don't really speak about this too much, but I'd love to see like Tokyo.
That's sick. Yeah,
no, that's very far away, but I'd be interested to see how it is.
It's cool because I'm pretty sure Tokyo is like the most populated place in the world. It's like crazy. I'm not going to say a number because I don't want to sound dumb, but I know it's the most populated place in the world, so it's just absolutely crazy.
Japan, I'd love to see too. Our Kubota tractors come from Japan.
Oh, really?
So I'd love to see the technology and the atmosphere and their way of living down there. I'd love to see that because I love our Kubota tractors more than the John Deere's. I know I like. We have a bunch of green, and I advertise with all my green and stuff. And John Deere's a great brand, but Kubota's my baby. Yeah. I love Kubota. I love everything about them, from the machines to the dealer support and just everything about it. They're a great company. Yeah. They're awesome to deal with.
That's awesome.
Great customer service. Yeah.
If you could sit down with any individual, alive or dead, to have coffee with for an hour, who would it be?
Alex Hormozi.
Really?
Alex Hormozi.
Yeah, Alex.
Alex Hormozi. I'd say it 100
so
times
I'm
over.
assuming you've read his book.
Yeah, absolutely. $100 million offers. Amazing book. Shout out Alex Hormozi, man. Honestly,
Yo, Alex, if you're watching, subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe. Check us out. Post us on your story. Do something.
He's crazy.
He's so intelligent. It's insane. And I get him so hard. Like, when I listen to him, he gets through to me so well.
He's so next level, man. Like, he's just next level.
He's so next level. His brain's like, the IQ is crazy on that man. I don't even understand how he could think and talk at that capacity, but he's put in the work, and he definitely deserves to be where he is today. He's so brilliant. Yeah, I would do anything to meet Alex Hormozi. My runner-up though would be Grant Cardone.
Grant?
Yeah, Grant Cardone be number 2, and then Big Gary V for number 3. Those are like my 3 main guys I pay attention to a lot. Yeah. I don't really look at too many other influencers or entrepreneurs. Like, those are the 3 guys I pay close attention to because I really aspire what they've done. Yeah. And they're all different. All 3 of them are completely different.
Different stuff.
That's another thing I love, right? Yeah. But yeah, man, Alex Hormozi, like
Yeah, he's cool. He's
I
crazy
love him.
cool.
Yeah.
If you won $10 million tomorrow and you got to make one purchase, it could be quite literally anything. The purchase can be like going on a 100-day vacation, could be a house, car, watch. What's like one thing you're buying, the first thing you're buying, materialistic wise?
Does it have to be one item?
Yeah, well, no, it could be like, I guess, a group thing, but like what's the first thing you're going to do, like first thing you're buying?
Okay, well, like I already know what it is, but like, could it be business related?
Oh yeah, are you just going to buy like
I would
50 tractors?
$10 million. How many is that? How many
Yeah, because
tractors?
what's a tractor?
They're 100,000 a piece roughly with a blower. The bigger ones are much more expensive, almost double. But let's just say even small machines. So yeah, I'd buy 100 tractors. Yeah, I'd literally go and buy 100 tractors. Well, maybe I'd buy like 75 tractors and then I'd save the rest for marketing. Yeah, that's what I'd probably do. I know that sounds crazy, but that's definitely what I do. I wouldn't do anything else. I would just keep growing my business. If I won 10 million tomorrow, I would just put it all in my business. Keep growing the beast, feed the beast.
What do you think, like, to not dive into this because you could talk about it forever, but what do you think about all the AI and stuff like that? Like, what do you think the world's going to look like in 50 years? Like, I think we're looking at, like, fully just teched out world. Like, I think everything's just going to be
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Like, it's going to buy back a lot of people's time, like you and I, right? Like, we're going to be able to have a lot more free time because AI is going to be able to help us in so many different ways, right? You know, even like if you see there's this new Audi commercial out about this brand new like e-tron vehicle they're coming out with, and it's probably going to launch in the next 5 years. And this vehicle, you just set your destination, it fully drives you there right from your house. Like, you even like it could pull itself out of the garage, the whole 9 yards. And I'm excited to see the whole process. Like me, I know me when I'm driving, sometimes I'm always reaching for my phone or going on, and I try to stay off of it, but you know, I could get a lot done in that time. So when I look at little things like that, you know, AI is going to buy back time in that essence, and it's going to be used as leverage for the people who can't afford it. It's going to be big leverage. It's already leverage for me. I've used ChatGPT in a few things within my business. Like, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Like, that shit's
like
crazy.
You're talking to a smart person.
Like, I just didn't think it would come this quick.
I know. No, neither did I. That's why it's kind of weird, because it's like, man, it just happened. Like, ChatGPT just happened.
Yeah,
like
the
I just
whole
ask it to write me a YouTube script and it does it. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole AI just kind of popped up. Like, we heard and seen that it was coming, but now it's like, whoa, it's here now, and it's rolling. The biggest thing that blew the top off my head was when Siri came out.
Yeah.
You remember that, the iPhone 4S?
Yeah.
Man, I was like, whoa, what's happening? Like, I remember being young. I don't know. I think that dropped when I was 14 years old. I want to say 13 years old, somewhere around there. I remember the iPhone 4S dropped, and I think they put the S for the Siri after it, if I remember correctly. But I was like, wow. Like, when I heard that thing, I was like, Siri, where could I hide a dead body? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? That was like the first thing to ask it. And like, it gave you answers back. I think I remember it did, or it said something back. It said
something crazy.
It said something crazy back. I remember, because it was all hyped up around that time. But I remember being young and I was like, whoa, like that blew my mind. And now seeing how far it's came, like, it's crazy. Like, I use Siri all the time. Like, there's so many cool functions you could use on your phone now, and AI's on its way to becoming something great. I will leverage the shit out of it. I'm already trying to.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn as much as I can.
I will leverage the hell out of it in my business and my day-to-day life. But no, I'm excited to pretty much see the whole vehicle aspect of it. Yeah, that's what I'm really excited for.
Like the self-driving stuff, because that's just that'd be so nice.
Yeah,
like all the driving, just like.
I hate driving.
Automate the driving.
I hate driving.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I like to go down south. I'm like, man, I'm going to burn 7 hours of my time staring at a road. I know. Like, screw that. I could get so much done in 7 hours.
And you can't, like, if there's no, it's not like you can fly to some places down south. Like, if you're going to like Guelph or like St. Catharines, like, you're just going to drive.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean.
Fly to Toronto, then drive 2 hours. Like, hey, you're just going to drive the 7 hours or 6 hours. Like,
my parents live in Whitby. I could catch the plane there, but it's like same shit, right? By the time I board the plane, and then if there's delays, and then I land there, and then they got to drive all the way from Whitby, which is like an hour away, to pick me up, then bring me all the way back there. It's like 6-7 hours itself. So I might as well just
might as well just hop my Tesla and go, yo, Whitby, and then just go on your phone.
Dude, it's coming to that. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, well, I guess to sort of wrap things up here, I guess what's the vision for next year, the vision for the business? I don't know if you want to put goals or anything out there, but I guess overall just vision like growing to a certain point where you're fully out of it and you get to sort of just manage the whole business. I guess what are goals, plans for the coming years?
I got the goals. I don't want to share them yet
100%.
because I kind of keep things a little bit low key.
Yeah.
And I don't like talking before something
For sure,
happens.
yeah.
But to say the least, I'm going to try and double
Growing,
again.
yeah.
Last year was a 4x. The year before that was like another 4x. It's not possible to really 4x. To go to 2,000 to 8,000 driveways and 22 machines to 100 machines. Like that's not, now it's becoming a point where I'm not going to be able to 4x. So my goal is to double.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Awesome.
But I could dive into it, but we're going to hold it, and the viewers could catch that in the fall time and winter of next year.
I appreciate it. I think we'll definitely have to do a follow-up video, maybe like next season. I come and just do a vlog, sort of like the back end.
Absolutely.
Take me in a tractor, maybe. Show me the ropes, the office.
You
That'd
come
be
by the
cool.
office anytime. Come by the shop. There's tons to show. I'm sure your viewers will love that. It's an interesting business, man. It's different, and going back to the whole AI thing, like this business is something of the future that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And something I wanted to touch on that too is the business I'm in particular. Having the roofing business in the summer, which we didn't touch on much, but maybe we could do that some other time.
Yeah.
Having the roofing business in the summer and having the winter business with the tractors and whatnot. Like I'm in a specialized trade.
Yeah.
And you can't have robots do that quite yet.
Yeah, no.
So what's going to happen is like, the positions of like, people that do desk work, lawyers, etc., stuff like that, doctors and whatnot, that's slowly, that's
assistants, cashiers,
man, you see it yourself. Guys in the trades are making more money than people that are doctors and lawyers now, and professionals, guys on not Wall Street, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
People that are all collared up, going to work in their suit and tie. Like you got guys that are greasy from head to toe making more money than that. That's where it's going to, right? Because those jobs are getting replaced by AI.
Can't replace a guy that's doing certain brick layout.
I'm very certain on what I'm doing. I'm very humbled about it. I really, really love it. I have a true passion for the winter business as well as the roofing business, and it's here to stay, man. Like you're not gonna see robots doing a roof for at least probably another 40 years.
Yeah.
Like I got a business that's here to stay. In terms of the tractor side of things, now I think I may be able to see where that's going on the AI side of things. And I think eventually one day you're going to be able to just go in the software and program the tractors to be able to go through their route themselves without an operator in them.
That's crazy.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Eventually.
I'm going to call it now, and I'm going to watch this video when I'm 40, and
that's going to be
that's what's going to be happening because
you're going to be waking up in the morning and just turning your tractors on.
They already have tractors in the field that are automatic, they're automated. What's it called? I forget what it's called. There's a certain There's a certain name for it, but anyways, they're driven by themselves, right? You just go program them in the system. They know the barriers of the field, and they know how and which way to go up, down, left, right, wherever it may be. And they're self-driving. They go and do the job without an operator in them.
That's crazy.
So I think our business will turn into that on the snow side of things in the next couple decades. And it's great to maybe see that evolution. But for now, it's safe to say that I'm in two businesses that are here to stay. Sure. The AI is not going to take me out. No.
Really good.
No.
Well, I appreciate your time. I guess tell the viewers where they can find you, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah, find me on my YouTube channel, Stefano Narducci. I'm also on Instagram a little bit. Been posting some reels lately. I'm trying to pop off on there a little bit more. But yeah, YouTube's my main channel. That's the Mac Daddy, Stefano Narducci. Go give me a follow and check out all my snow events if you want to see a recap on this whole season. I got some pretty interesting videos.
Northern Snow on Instagram.
Yeah, Northern Snow on Instagram for the business. Northern Roofing on Facebook, and you can find some stuff there too. And check out my website too. I got a pretty nasty website for Northern Snow. Check that out. That's a beast. Best website in the industry. It is.
Well, yeah. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to see more videos like this, we might do something, like I said, come into the shop and show me the ropes, the back end, show you guys the office. But subscribe, comment down below if you stayed to the end. Comment snow down below if you've watched the entire video and you made it here. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yo, that was wicked.
That was a good one.